Super Tuesday, presented by Boost Mobile from United Supermarkets Arena in Lubbock. It's the upstart Oklahoma State Cowboys, fresh off their Bedlam upset of Oklahoma. And the 14th ranked Red Raiders of Texas Tech, hungry to stop a two-game slide. There you see Kansas eyeing a 14th straight Big 12 regular season title. Jayhawks in Norman tonight. Texas Tech 4-3 with 5 top 25 wins, led by some great defense.
Well, the D has been there all season long. They need to get their offense going. They went on the road. They shot way too many threes, but going on the road in the Big 12 has been difficult for everyone. And Oklahoma State is feeling good about life after this. Hustle, effort, heart, and toughness in their big win over the weekend over Oklahoma and Trae Young in Bedlam.
Mitchell Solomon with that huge steal against the phenom Trae Young at the end of regulation. The Cowboys win it in overtime. They come into Lubbock riding high. Doug Sermons, Jerry Pollard, Tony Padilla, our officiating crew as we're underway. Oklahoma State gives it right up to Texas Tech on the opening possession. And the Red Raiders start a couple of freshmen tonight. Zaire Smith, Jarrett Culver, a Lubbock native. As Chris Beard, Tim, is trying to figure things out. Now Texas Tech turns it over with a foul. It's on Norense Odiase.
Well, the message has been sent early. Don't move on the screens. And there's 2 moving screens out of the gate in the first 19 seconds. But you've got to establish yourself and get set. But both teams want to be physical on offense away from the ball to free up their shooters.
6'8" senior forward Zach Smith continues to be out for Texas Tech, missing his 5th straight game tonight. That's been a big loss for Texas Tech as it's tied up on the floor. And there's Mitchell Solomon doing what he does. That's get dirty. He is great at going after loose balls.
Well, he is. And Chris Beard is really emphasized trusting the process with his team today, not trying to overplay the importance of this game, but it is very important for Texas Tech to just get back on the winning track and feeling good about themselves.
Nice pass from Gray inside to Jarrett Culver, the exciting newcomer for Texas Tech. He's got the first 2 for the Raiders.
Well, Culver finished it off, but it was Gray who delivered, and that's what Chris Beard needs, his veterans to play better than they have in the last couple games.
Here's Jeffrey Carroll for the Cowboys off the window, can't finish. Culver. Good lead pass to Smith. He tried to slam it down. It was rejected at the rim by Sema. Now Averett in transition. Shine cut off on the baseline. The very quick Averett. Fans here thought he traveled, no whistle.
Well, Brendan Averett is in there for that reason. Try to dribble, penetrate, and create off the bounce.
His 4th straight start at the point. Shot doesn't go for Shine. Sema gives Oklahoma State a new shot clock. You know, Oklahoma State needs a good start tonight. Much like the one they had in the win over Oklahoma on Saturday. Jumped out to a 19-point lead. Let it slip away, but finished well. Nothing so far on the board for the Cowboys here tonight.
Yeah. Texas Tech doing a great job of getting up into passing lanes, being aggressive away from the ball, and protecting the rim.
And Sema, 6'11" Spaniard, transferred to Oklahoma State from St. John's, picks up the foul. Norense Odiase is going to go to the bench.
Oh, the early look as you evaluate the energy of both these teams is what they're doing on defense. And both these teams are getting after, they're getting down, they're in a stance with their hands up and making things difficult for the offense in the half court.
Gray fires it to Zaire Smith. He's been in double figures in 12 of his last 14. And that's a good sign for Texas Tech as Keenan Evans has struggled the last 2 games too.
Well, Texas Tech has struggled 13 for 53 in the last 2 games from the 3. Way too many attempts, but that was a clean, open look.
Solomon got his own miss and sticks it back for the Cowboys. They're on the board.
Now that's what he does, you know, the cleanup guy, but they've got to get back on defense. But Oklahoma State, what they do more than any team in the Big 12 is they'll change defenses from zone to man, and they'll change up their schemes in the half court with their traps and their coverage of pick and roll.
Smith off the iron. Here comes Oklahoma State. Sema. It's stripped by Jarrett Culver. Man, has he been a exciting bright spot during the 2-game losing streak for Texas Tech. 16 points, 9 rebounds in that game against the Horns. Falling away, doesn't get the shot to go, but he'll go to the line.
Now, Keenan Evans has been struggling as of late. So what Oklahoma State's going to do, even in the half-court man-to-man, is we're going to give him a little space and make him prove that he can knock down shots from the outside with some consistency. And you know, Texas Tech, they're just not getting to the free throw line the last couple games. And couple of interesting stats. When they get to the free throw line 25 times per game, they win. So Chris Beard's trying to get his team to be more aggressive going to the hoop.
You know, he was telling you and I, and there you see Chris Beard in his 2nd year now here in Lubbock, that, you know, veterans got to step up, and maybe some of the guys put a little bit too much pressure on themselves the last couple of games.
Well, you know, he's a positive coach. He doesn't get too up or too down, but he understands the road is so hard. You've got to protect this home court, especially they've lost 3 out of their last 4.
The Sema miss, Brandon Francis, the skip pass to the corner. And the 3 is buried by Culver.
Well, something about being at home makes you feel better about launching those 3s, and Texas Tech very comfortable early from the perimeter.
The Cowboys answer back as Tavares Shine is on the board.
Well, if Oklahoma State's going to get their first win on the road this season, they've got to have Shine and Carroll be very aggressive and have big games.
Texas Tech 3 for 5 shooting to start. Francis trying to make that extra pass to Hamilton, who was knifing in. Out of bounds. We get a timeout on the floor here in Lubbock.
Well, Jarrett Culver is a guy that is a promising freshman, athletic, but also can do that. Lock and load from the line.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Boost Mobile.
It was a great big Monday last night. It's going to be a good Super Tuesday here tonight. 9-4 Texas Tech out to the early lead here in Lubbock alongside Tim Welsh. I'm Clay Matvick. Again, no off nights in the Big 12. We saw a great evening of basketball last night. TCU with a terrific win. And now tonight, Texas Tech has to deal with Mike Boynton's Oklahoma State Cowboys. Lately, the wins have been coming for the home team.
Well, it's a quick turnaround for Oklahoma State coming off that emotional win on Saturday, but Mike Boynton is a polished young coach. Just so impressed with his maturity, his experiences. He's taken his experiences as a player under Eddie Fogler and as a coach under Brad Underwood. He's really learned his lessons at a young age, and Oklahoma State knew when they hired him, they had a real good rising star in coaching, and he is not afraid to battle the great ones in this conference, and you can just see that by talking to him and seeing what he's done with this team so far this season.
Oklahoma State will keep it. Yeah, that was a validating win, you might say, for Coach Boynton.
Well, you know, we've known Mike a long time, going back to when we recruited him when he was in high school, and he's always presented that intelligence as a player and, you know, great respect for others, but also just a confidence about himself and everyone around him, and that's what he's employed with his basketball team, and he knows that they have a tough task today, but they're ready for it. They're going to change defenses and attack Texas Tech on both ends.
After the McGriff 2, here's Texas Tech playing with the lead. Hamilton, he likes the three-point shot. The 6'11 senior from Chicago buries the 3.
Well, he rushes his 3 sometimes and shoots them when they're contested, but when he gets his feet set and he's comfortable out there, you see the smooth stroke.
McGriff missed badly there. Solomon trying to save it, can't. Solomon, who Mike Boynton says is the team MVP, trying to keep it in. It's an Oklahoma State turnover.
Mitchell Solomon's going to do that. He's going to chase down every opportunity to put his mitts on the basketball. We saw that on Saturday with that key play at the end of regulation against Oklahoma.
Now Raiders giveaway. Carroll feeds McGriff on the baseline. Looking for help, tries to force it up and is able to get to the free throw line. McGriff was in trouble, but then draws the foul from Tommy Hamilton, his first.
The other thing I'm impressed by with Oklahoma State, when we're talking about them, is just the physicality as a whole, top to bottom. I mean, they are in great shape. I mean, they come out on the floor and they look like they're going to bang you on both ends.
On tonight at 9 Eastern over on ESPN, Super Tuesday presented by Boost Mobile rolls on at Rupp Arena. Going to be a good one between Kentucky and Mississippi State. Kentucky has fallen out of the top 25. Coach Cal said he's going to tweak something tonight. We're going to have to look for that.
One thing you do know about Cal, Clay, is that he is a master of finding what buttons to push and pushing them, and he will keep coaching this team until he finds the right buttons.
Yeah, he is a master. Another young team this year, but gets him playing well at the right time of the year every year. 12-8 Texas Tech trying to end a two-game losing streak. Zaire Smith, the freshman, gets it to Culver. The freshman gives back to the rookie. Trying to slam it down again, and it goes out of bounds to Oklahoma State. That's the second time Smith hasn't been able to finish it done.
Well, he got so close to the rim, I think he didn't know where he was. And watch the delivery. He's ready for it, but then he goes up to punch it through. He should have just laid it off the glass.
Oklahoma State has won its last 3 home games in heroic fashion, but they've yet to win a true road game this year as Carroll comes up short. Good rebound by McGriff. Lindy Waters into the game for the first time for Oklahoma State, and Kendall Smith, who was at the end of regulation hit threes against Iowa State and Oklahoma in recent days. It's that outside shot.
Good job by Oklahoma State staying with the play and just reversing the floor before Texas Tech could shift their defense.
There's Davide Moretti, the Italian. Jumper left short. Smith trying to push it back up with that right hand. He'll kick it back on the perimeter as they get a second chance. A little bit too much passing there, almost like they were in a phone booth.
Well, first of all, when you come off 2 games, when you shoot 13 from 53 from the three-point line, and you only average 55 points a game, and you only take 25 free throws in those 2 games compared to 53 threes, your coach is going to say, listen, enough of that. Let's drive the ball to the basket. So I think they're overemphasizing it at this point right now, and Oklahoma State, to their credit, is really packing the defense in.
Cowboys, not a bad season thus far, despite the Lamont Evans scandal. Graduation of Forte and Juwan Evans leaving early for the NBA. There's Carroll knocking it in from close. They need him at a high level tonight.
Well, that's what you have to do against Texas Tech's defense. Really shift the floor quickly, drive to the gap, and be ready to make that extra pass.
Oklahoma State playing with the lead for the first time. Will get it back on the offensive foul by Odiasi. That's his second person.
Lindy Waters stood right in there and took the hit. 205 pounds against Odiasi at least 245. Solid 245 right in the chest.
So Odiasi has to sit down. And another offensive foul, this time against the Cowboys. Timeout on the floor, 11:57 to go in the half. Oklahoma State playing from in front for the first time.
One single day, 2 power conferences, 10 games with new stars, familiar legends, and epic matchups, all for bragging rights. The Big 12 SEC Challenge on ESPN. This Saturday.
It starts at noon on Saturday. That's going to be fun. Big 12 SEC Challenge always is. Of course, Trae Young, Oklahoma. He has been the story of college basketball. Marvin Bagley at Duke, another freshman having a great year. And Kentucky has slipped out of the top 25. That's rare.
Well, you know, Trae had those 39 shots, and they got beat on Saturday at Oklahoma State. And a lot of analysis from every corner of the media world came out. Tracy, listen, I'm only 19. I'm still learning. So he's going to listen to Lon Kruger and not everybody else talk about what he should do on the basketball court.
Culver going the distance. He's out to a great start. He's got 7 early. And Texas Tech goes back in front by 1. Off the turnover. Naeem Stevenson attacking. Foul by Shine.
Well, Marvin Bagley, you know he's right up there with Trae Young in the Player of the Year talk. And Virginia and Villanova. Villanova just looks like they're going to be built to last. And Virginia, interesting game on the weekend. They travel to Cameron.
Yes.
It'll be fun if their defense travels. Usually it does for Tony Bennett, but he's got a big chore on his hands playing Duke on the road. But Duke's defense has been inconsistent. But I think Duke is going to figure that out moving forward, because when you have a team that is so young, the last thing they learn and get good at is defense. The offense is there. For the first time in a while, they have inside presence on the offensive end of the floor. So that'll be a great chess match on Saturday.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, you and I were talking about Trae Young, and everyone pretty much thought it was a lead pipe cinch that he was the Player of the Year favorite at that point. Has that taken a hit?
No.
Here in the last week?
No. They're 14-4, and he's playing in the best conference in the country. He has had the most attention pointed right at him, and he'll tweak his game. You know, Lon Kruger doesn't need anybody to tell him how to coach Trae Young, that's for sure. They'll figure it out where there's a better balance maybe on some of the shot selection he had. But listen, funny things happen when you go on the road, especially against your rival, and that's what happened on Saturday. And still, they were one possession away from winning that game. People forget that.
Kansas leading that game by a deuce early on ESPN as Averett scores. We were talking with Chris Beard. He thought Brandon Averett was the quickest point guard in the Big 12.
He's one of the quickest, there's no doubt about it. That's why he's in the starting lineup, not only offensively, defensively.
Second 3 for Culver, and he's got 11.
Culver is a smooth-looking freshman. That's why people around this program are very excited, not only about this team, but things happening down the road.
Smith off the side of the backboard, out of bounds. Oklahoma State will keep it as Smith comes back in for the Red Raiders. Brandon Averett learned a lot from Juwan Evans when he played behind him last year.
Well, you can find that angle, and that is your A+ blow-by to the rim.
Averett signed at Stephen F. Austin. Brad Underwood was the coach there, followed him to Stillwater, and he stayed behind after Underwood went to Illinois. Oklahoma State just keeps punching.
Sorry, yeah, Kendall Smith's really, I think, adjusting well to that role coming in off the bench. He had the big game on Saturday and the big shot to send the game into overtime, but he looks very comfortable, especially playing along with Brendan Averett.
That 3 doesn't go for Keenan Evans. Smith gets the rebound for Oklahoma State. Grad transfer. Waters watched by Smith. Shot clock at 10. He's going to fire a 3. Off the heel, no good, and Stevenson skies for the rebound. Hamilton thought about the 3, then tried to hit Culver in the corner, and that pass ends up in the front row.
Well, both teams right now, Clay, are playing very, very good defense. Texas Tech is employing their traditional man-to-man. Good ball pressure. They're forcing the ball hard to the sideline, really trying to keep it on one side of the floor, and then everyone else on the weak side is laying in the paint, ready for a dribble drive. And then Oklahoma State doing a good job of mixing their defenses between zone and man.
Texas Tech holding teams to under 39% shooting this year. And the 61.6 points per game that they're holding teams to is 5th best in the country. Averett with 5 on the shot clock, loops it up, doesn't go. Rebound to Waters. He'll hit. Second chance points for Oklahoma State.
No, that's just to kill it, because Texas Tech, everybody was in a stance to complete possession. They did a great job of forcing a tough shot. everybody's in the paint, and the ball just bounced the wrong way out to the perimeter to Waters.
Former Norman North High School teammates with Trey Young. Francis leaning in. Keenan Evans. And he continues to be quiet offensively.
Texas Tech doing a lot of switching on the perimeter, switching 1 through 4, especially on the ball screens. Getting way out, taking away the lane.
Here's Seaman. Out for Avery. Francis grabbed the miss. Texas Tech down a point. 7.5 to go here in the first. Francis around and out. And there's going to be another foul. Goes against Oklahoma State.
Well, both teams are grinding it out on defense. Sometimes the ball bounces the right way. Waters taking advantage.
Wednesday night, NBA doubleheader tomorrow night. Rockets and Mavs at 8. Then Kyrie leads the Celtics against Blake Griffin and the Clippers at Staples. Coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 7. Speaking of the Celtics, Marcus Smart, how good was he during his time with Oklahoma State, now a member of the Celtics. And you were here for that infamous game where he and a fan got into it here a few years back.
So many moons ago. And Marcus has obviously grown beyond that and having a nice career with the Celtics. The Celtics struggling a little bit. Lost 3 in a row at home, but no one in Boston cares because they're getting ready for another Super Bowl trophy.
Oh, you're going to call it already?
Clay, I called it a month ago.
You are the biggest homer. Off the miss, here comes Averett quickly into the front court for the Cowboys. Up a point here on the road against number 14 Texas Tech. Dzagwa into the game for the first time, the 3-point shooter for Oklahoma State. He's number 4 in orange. That's a travel for Solomon.
Yeah, Solomon had good low post space. He just caught the ball off balance, tried to put it on the floor, couldn't get established. But again, Texas Tech playing very, very good defense. Every pass has been challenged by Texas Tech defensively. They really doing a good job play of not only switching out hard on all screens, on and away from the ball, but they're also moving quickly on the pass and not on the catch.
Yeah, Chris Beard is such a good coach. He's going to be upset with that turnover. Another one. That's the 7th for Texas Tech. Oklahoma State will keep it. But you and I at the shoot-around today, and you commented on this, Beard is not using this as a shoot-around day. He's using this as another practice day.
No, it's a teaching environment. There's no doubt about it. Chris has been at a lot of spots, and he's always been a very, very good teacher, including his time here with Coach Knight.
Won that Sun Belt title in 16. 30 wins that year with Little Rock, and then comes back to Lubbock, where he was an assistant for 10 years. His defense is top-notch, but the offense the last couple of games has scored in the 50s. And after building a 7-point lead early, they've struggled.
Well, sometimes you see these coaching changes, and you kind of know after being through all that we have over the years, experience. Some are good fits and some aren't. And when Chris Beard came here after going to UNLV for a short period of time, you knew this was a good fit for him and Texas Tech.
Trying to get the lead back here. Evans gets it into Smith. Baseline jumper goes in for Gray. Justin Gray, the veteran leader, with his first 2.
And he's going to make those type of shots. And that was good ball movement on that possession by Texas Tech.
His first field goal attempt, in fact, as Carroll answers on the other end for Oklahoma State.
Well, he has to be aggressive. Things aren't going to be easy against his defense, so he's got to use his natural ability to take the ball to the rim.
One and done are the Red Raiders. Averett, quick as a whistle, out to Dzagwa. Got it!
Well, bad shots sometimes turn into good shots down the other end, and Justin Gray launched that 3 very quickly, and they never got matched up against the hot shooting Dzagwa.
That shot from Zaire Smith. And again, those long shots haven't been the answer the last few games, as Carroll hits a three for Oklahoma State, and Tech needs a timeout.
Chris Beard is not happy because on one end they are launching quick shots and then coming back in transition. They're not playing that tight defense.
You can see the steam coming off of Chris Beard's forehead.
Well, the emphasis all day and since the Iowa State game is attack. Don't settle for quick threes and then come back down the other end. They just don't match up. And they just backed up. You have to get out on Carroll and make him a dribbler. That was pretty deep, though.
It was. Just too many long shots. And there's no doubt that this team, Texas Tech, is trying to figure things out without Zach Smith. They missed their senior leader, their 6'8" forward, out with that broken right foot. They're 1-3 without him, as Culver gets it to go down, but that's going to be a foul beforehand, an offensive foul against Culver.
Clay, you might look at the stats and say, well, Zach Smith, 7 points, 4 rebounds. What does he do? Well, he does a lot. He does all the little things that help you win. He's always in the right position defensively. He can chase down loose ball. He can guard multiple positions. He's got that experience and size up front that they sorely miss.
They hope to have Smith back for the Big 12 tournament, but even Chris Beard would admit that's optimistic. There's a takeaway. Keenan Evans quickly gets it to Culver. He's going to charge right in and can't get it to go. Might have been blocked at the rim. Averett attacking. Got it! Yes, and one.
Oh, he's waving it off. I can't believe that. There's no way that shot should count. Brandon Averett was off to the races. Probably didn't have a good opportunity, but he splits the defenders. He gets there. He's into his shot motion. The ball's going up in the air. That is a basket.
Foul on
Tony
Moretti.
Padilla, somebody's got to help him on that. You cannot take that bucket away from Oklahoma State.
And that foul's on Evans. Now it's Cam McGriff. Well, these officials making things interesting here with 4:23 to go. 27-20, Oklahoma State. And Culver is bumped. And that's on Carroll, his second.
The one thing about both these coaches that we've seen with Chris Beard throughout his career and Mike Boynton in a short period of time is that, you know, they don't spend a lot of time chirping with the officials because obviously they know they've got to just coach their basketball team. But some questionable activities so far.
Well, Saturday on ESPN, it's the 5th annual Big 12 SEC Challenge. Trey Young in Oklahoma taking on Alabama at 2:15 Eastern. Hopefully Colin Sexton will be healthy. Texas A&M and Kansas at 4:30. Then at 7, Kentucky, West Virginia. All three on the app. It'll be a great backcourt battle there, Kentucky and West Virginia.
Well, there's no doubt. And John Calipari's young squad better be ready for some pressure because old Huggy Bear was not happy leaving Fort Worth last night. Some steam cooking.
See that backcourt comparison. Ron Carter, of course, the star guard for West Virginia. Always fun to watch on both ends of the floor. Shine can't get it to go. Moretti gets the rebound for Texas Tech. Down 5. Moretti gives it up. The big man, Sema, got it, and that is a foul on Moretti.
Ooh, the multiple errors by the young freshman from Italia. First spinning into traffic, loose with the basketball, and then not fouling soon enough. Young man learning his lessons in the Big 12. Let him go. He's got the dunk already.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
Texas Tech back in the friendly confines of United Supermarkets Arena after 2 straight losses on the road. But they're down 29-22, and Yankuba Sima at the line for Oklahoma State can't complete the 3-point play. But Red Raiders, Tim, they have fallen from 8 to 14 in the polls. They got out to that great 3-0 start in Big 12 play, their first 3-0 start since 2004, but now they've lost 3 of their last 4.
Well, they're not getting into any rhythm on the offensive end, and that's because Oklahoma State continues to change defenses, doing a great job of doing that, making them take tough shots from the perimeter.
Oklahoma State foul on Shine.
It's just Tavar Shine. That's hustle, but it's not smart hustle. And there you see the last 4 games, Texas Tech, the struggles. And that one win was not easy. They were down 8 late to come back and storm back and beat West Virginia here. And go on the road in this league, you've got to have a mindset, and the mindset that Oklahoma State has tonight. You think that maybe they were overjoyed with that win on Saturday, but Mike Boynton, his personality, I think, is perfect for this basketball team. They're a balanced team. He's done a very good job of, they share the basketball, uses his bench. He's got Kendall Smith to buy into being a reserve, and they really present a lot of problems defensively with their changes, and they're changing defenses, and they're changing scheme from one possession to the other.
And for Texas Tech, I think that guy right there is the Rosetta Stone. The last couple of games, he has not been great. Iowa State held him to 7 points. And if Keenan Evans can get it going, I think Texas Tech can figure things out without Zach Smith.
There's no doubt, but they got to help him out a little bit too. And maybe that's his teammates. Maybe he's trying to set some more screens for him, freeing him up, and looking for him on the offensive end.
Off the Kendall Smith miss, Sima keeps it alive for the Cowboys. Under 3 minutes to go here in the half.
That's a good job by Sima. Just reached right over the top with that length.
Sima over the top of Culver, got it.
They've got to do a better job. When Sima catches the ball down there, he's got big size advantage, but they've got a crowd on me. He's a dreadful passer. Make him pitch it back out. He's only got 2 assists, 12 turnovers on the season. Dig it out of there.
Culver has had a good first half. Doesn't get it to go. Kendall Smith will lope into the front court here for Oklahoma State, and he carried it.
There we go. Chris Beard made that call. Sometimes you got to get up and bark at these guys. They're looking for every foul away from the ball, and then the obvious they miss. But there's a good move by Sima. But you see all the space he created. He's much bigger than anybody inside for Texas Tech, and they're just letting him catch it in there. But then when he does catch it, they got to make sure he doesn't get a clean look over the top.
Again, he's transferred in from St. John's, became eligible December 16th after sitting out a year and a half, and starting to round into form for the Cowboys, who lead at 31-23. Francis trying to hit Hamilton, knifing down the lane off his hands, and Smith had it blocked. Keeps it alive for Averett. Got the 3. Huge basket for the backcourt man.
Well, it all started on the defensive end of the floor, though, by Mitchell Solomon just building that wall down low, not fouling as he used to as a youngster, now just making his big presence felt, staying with the play.
Texas Tech needs an answer. Evans is fouled going in. That's what Chris Beard wants him to do.
Well, this is a continuance of 4 or 5 just great hustle and toughness plays by Oklahoma State. And as we said, it started with Mitchell Solomon just finding a way to retrieve the loose ball, and then the extra pass and good heads up by Smith to Averett.
Second chance points. There you go. 14 rip in favor of Oklahoma State. That is the lion's share of the reason why the Cowboys have the lead.
So that's where they do miss the Zach Smith, and that's where their guards have to get in and really help and be involved. And Stevenson and Gray and Culver, Hamilton just likes to roam on the perimeter. He needs to get inside and be physical as well. He's got some size. And Brandon Francis, they're all about the same. So they've got to be real physical because Oklahoma State is attacking the glass.
Smith out indefinitely. All he can do is watch again tonight. 5th straight game he's been out. Cowboys lead it by 10. DeZagua, another 3 for the Pokes.
Well, that's deep, you may say, but that is his range. And if he feels comfortable out there, he can do that, lock it in with ease.
Mike Boynton challenged him to make 20,000 threes during the month of July this past summer, and he did it. It's made him a great shooter during games this year.
Well, Thomas DeZagua from all the way in Tampa to Stillwater. That was from downtown Tampa. Tampa Catholic.
He played for his dad, Don, at Tampa Catholic High School. Culver goes to the line off the Solomon foul. And what a half for Jared Culver, the freshman. Getting the start again here tonight.
DeZagua, schooled by the great individual teacher in Tampa. He's got an individual coach, David Zimroth, a guy who used to coach many years at the college level. I know he works long and hard with him in the summer as well, and certainly great development of his body and game at Oklahoma State. You can see he's more confident on the floor, especially on the defensive end. They don't have to hide him like they used to in his first season.
Very balanced scoring for Oklahoma State. Nobody in double figures. Carroll leads the team with 7. .39 seconds to go. We got a timeout. What a performance here by the Cowboys on the road against the number 14 team in the country. And Tim, you got to think, with a win here tonight, it's going to give some life to their NCAA tournament hopes. You know, we talked about it before. They've already got wins against Florida State. They're coming off that huge win against their rival number 4 Oklahoma. It seems like this team is starting to find some traction.
They are, and you're around the program. We've been around them a couple times now, and you've got to give the Oklahoma State administration huge kudos. I mean, when it first happened, Brad Underwood left and went to Illinois, and they hired Michael Boynton. People that don't know coaching around the country said, wait a minute, you're hiring a young coach, guy in his 30s, who's never coached anywhere as a head coach, and giving him a Big 12 job to go up against Bill Self and Lon Kruger and company. How does that work? It works because they knew what they had, and then Michael took that and went the next step. He hired 2 ex-head coaches in Scott Sutton and John Cooper, and no big ego. He said, listen, I need a couple head coaches with me, but he has done a great job. I can't say enough about how his team has performed all season long, and they're just getting better and better. You could see that tonight because they have not won a game on the road yet this season, but they look really confident and prepared this evening.
Boynton just 36 years old. A lot of young energy in that man.
Young energy, but I mean, when you hire a guy, you say, wait a minute, you've got to go against Bob Huggins and Bill Self and Jamie Dixon and Lon Kruger. I mean, do you have the chops to do that? And yes, he does.
Avery doesn't get the 3 to go this time.
And that's what you really got to look at when you're hiring a coach. Who are you going up against? And they knew what they had in this young man, but I'm sure Chris Beard will make some adjustments at halftime, especially with their offense. They've got to get more movement like they had in the first 6-7 minutes of this game.
2 seconds between game and shot clock. Culver sitting on 14 points. Baseline. Gray has it rejected by Sema, and that's how the first half. Nope, 2 seconds left on the clock. That was the shot clock that expired.
Mike Boynton has his team ready for this situation. They work on this game-ending situations. They know exactly what to do here. Calls the play from the bench. He doesn't need a timeout. They go right to their spots. Well-oiled machine.
Cowboys don't have a lot of time to work with. Averett, baseball pass to Gasson. DeZagua counts if it goes. It will not go. 37-25, Oklahoma State with a double-digit lead on the road, and the offensive woes continue for Texas Tech. Close to a season low for points and a half. Just 25 at the break. Back in Lubbock for Super Tuesday, presented by Boost Mobile. Alongside the coach Tim Welsh on Clay Matvick. 37-25 at the half. Oklahoma State carrying that momentum that they got in Stillwater with that bedlam victory over Oklahoma the other night. And Texas Tech, Tim, another flat offensive performance so far.
Well, the way they started, I thought that they were going to have good rhythm all night long, but Oklahoma State, give them a lot of credit. They changed defenses and really protected the paint and the rim and made Texas Tech take tough shots from the perimeter. And then offensively, they were very aggressive, getting up on the backboard, chasing down loose balls, and then getting all those second chance points. And the thing about Oklahoma State, they're -3 in Big 12 games on the backboards, and they're dominating the glass right now just because they're in the right position and they're sending their guards and their forwards to the glass. And Texas Tech has to get their wings and guards involved in plays like this. The loose balls in that medium area of the floor where they can get the loose ball and then attack down the other end.
9 guys scoring here tonight for Oklahoma State. It's been a balanced effort. 14-0 in the second chance points statistical category in favor of the Cowboys. Very impressive. Cowboys start with the ball here in the second half. Sema is going to drive and lob it off to Shine, who is coming in on the baseline. Tavares Shine now has 4.
Well, who says Sema can't pass? That's his 3rd assist on the season, but that was a deft drop of a dime.
Stevenson to Odiasi. Stevenson slipped in the corner. And now Culver is fouled by Sema. Actually, that's on Shine, his 3rd.
One of his assistants better tell Mike Boynton that that's his 3rd. I don't know if he realizes it. No one's mentioned it to him, and I'll leave Shine in the game.
Oklahoma by a couple in that game in Norman against number 5 Kansas. Trae Young with 8 points so far, so he's had a modest night by his standards.
He talked about he was going to do some more balancing to his game, and apparently he has.
Stevenson can't get it to go. Odiasi trying to clean it up. Won't get the shot, and that's going to be a jump ball. And the possession arrow will keep it with Texas Tech.
Well, Texas Tech doing a better job starting this half, attacking on the inside, and Odiasi gets banged around in there, and that's a jump ball in my dreams. That's not a jump ball. That's nothing. That's a foul, if anything. Or just let him play.
That was Tony Padilla who made that call. And now Culver's going to get to the line as Sema does indeed pick up his 2nd. And that'll put Culver on the line. Culver in the first half, Tim, 14 points. Comes in averaging 10. Rest of the team in the first half, 11.
Sometimes, though, when the basketball's a little disjointed, the officials join in because they don't get a rhythm either. And there's such a lot of attacking defense. Everything's in the paint. There's a lot of hands, not a lot of clean passes, not a lot of clean looks at the rim. But to your point, Culver really has carried them, and if they need some help, Keenan Evans needs to get going.
Yeah, he's been the engine most of the year as Carroll hits for Oklahoma State. So now 9 for Jeffrey Carroll. He had 23 against the Sooners after only 8 at Baylor. 41 of his 49 career games he's been in double figures. When he goes well, usually Oklahoma State goes well. And now Evans, as you talked about, Tim, needs to come alive. There's a good start.
Well, that's how you have to get him good looks, though. Quickly reverse the floor and let him attack in space.
And now Sema's foul. And that's on Gray. 1 on him.
And Brandon Averett did a really good job of just pushing the ball after that make up the floor before Texas Tech could get set. But here's what Tech did there. They reversed the ball, and he attacked the gap before the defense, that time they were in a zone, could shift and cut off the angle to the rim.
Students came back to campus on Thursday. They're here in full throat tonight as Sema misses at the line. He has another one coming.
Well, that's great crowds this year, and The fans have appreciated this team. There's no doubt about it. And they need to amp up the volume a little bit, get them going.
Tubby Smith took him to the 2016 NCAA tournament, then left for Memphis. Red Raiders struggled last year under the first-year head coach Chris Beard, but they have come back strong this year and look like an NCAA tournament team. They're trying not to lose their third straight here tonight. Down 42-28 to Oklahoma State.
A lot of standing now for Texas Tech. One guy with the ball, everyone else watching.
Evans needed that one to go, and he got it.
He did a good job, though, cutting through the middle of that zone. Kind of got lost on the baseline and flared out to the corner. They did a good job of finding him. He was able to set his feet.
Foul on Averett.
Well, here's what he does. He kind of gets lost. You see, he cuts through the middle of this zone, and then he flares out to the corner, and Solomon doesn't close out tight enough. And you got to get up a little tighter on Keenan Evans on the perimeter.
Had been 2 of 13 from 3 the last 2 games. He's got 2 threes tonight on 3 attempts. Stevenson penetrates, turns it over to Shine.
Just really bad offense, Texas Tech. Chris Beard's offense is a motion. It's a passing game. Right now, it's one guy dribbling, 4 standing and watching.
Lead is 11. It's been as big as 15 for the Cowboys. 3 minutes into the second half, Carroll, and he's mugged by Culver.
You see Jeffrey Carroll, and this is good offense by Oklahoma State, trying to take advantage of the young freshman at 190 pounds, trying to guard the senior Carroll at 220 down in the box.
There's Mike Boynton looking on. Still a lot of time on the shot clock here for the Pokes. Shine tries to reset. Looking to get it to his point guard, sticking his hand in there is Stevenson. Somehow Averett got it back.
I don't know why that was a reset.
Yeah, they reset the shot clock, and the officials now realize, and they blow the whistle.
They just have to determine if, in fact, Texas Tech did have possession. And that's what Jerry Pollard, Doug Sermons has asked him. And he bounced the ball a couple times, so they may have reset it.
Yeah. Yeah, it appears to be the right call.
Okay.
On first blush, I agreed with you. I didn't think that it was a turnover. So Shine will trigger it in from the near sideline. 25 seconds to shoot. It's been a good night for Oklahoma State on the road. Trying to get back to 500 in the Big 12 at 4-4. And do that with a win. Rising up is Carroll, and he is fouled by Odiase in the corner. And that's going to be 3 foul shots.
I was about to say that's really good defense and a tough shot. A contested shot in the corner, but Odiase's momentum just carried him right into Carroll. And the fans here don't like it. They thought that Carroll came down into Odiase and just kind of did the old flop back. But officials were right on top of the play.
Vocal crowd will root against Carroll here on a 3rd foul shot. He made the first 2 as Odiase goes to the bench with 3 personal fouls.
It's the old veteran move. Kick your feet out and then flop back like you've been pushed. And you sell it, someone will buy it.
Carroll gets all 3. So Odiase, he has 3 fouls for Texas Tech. Tavares Shine has 3 for Oklahoma State as Waters comes in for Solomon.
Texas Tech is in a tough situation right now because Oklahoma State's defense looks like it's here to stay. They're communicating, they're active, they're changing defenses, and they're getting down and dirty and gritty.
Brandon Francis, he'll go to the line. Well, they call it offensive foul.
I'll tell you what, Lindy Waters, Clay, not known as your everyday put your hard hat on and take the charge, has done a great job tonight of just off the ball, getting himself in position and taking one for the team.
Versatile player, too. We've seen him play everywhere from 1 to 4.
First game in Bedlam, certainly missed him, just his overall presence on the floor.
Carroll doesn't get it. McGriff goes up for the rebound. There's contact underneath. That one's on Oklahoma State with 15:52 to go. It's a 14-point lead for the Cowboys on the road. Super Tuesday presented by Boost Mobile. Back here in Lubbock, Texas. Hometown of Buddy Holly, of course. Big 12 teams in the AP Top 25 this year. You know, there were only 3 teams in the preseason Top 25. We've seen 6 make an appearance in the rankings. And right now, look who's trending up.
Well, for all of you that aren't engineering or math majors that can't figure that out, the important piece of that is that blue going up and everyone else going the other way. And to those in Lawrence, Kansas, it's just like the Patriots.
There you go again.
In the Super Bowl every year, just Bill Self winning it all in the Big 12. They're heading that way. Can they be stopped?
Tom Brady's something else.
Tom Brady and Bill Self, something you can bet on every year.
Just about.
Your cup of coffee.
KU trying to bring home a 14th straight regular season championship, either outright or shared title. Now Brandon Francis, that is his first field goal of the game, coming alive late, but maybe not too late for Texas Tech as they try to claw back. Down a dozen here with just over 15 to go.
That was the shot that he made. It kind of got this building going in their comeback of West Virginia. Let's see if he energizes them again.
Lindy Waters, it lays up there and falls through.
Ooh, that was a delay of game on the back iron, but very kind to Waters.
Waters now at 5, his first basket of the second half. There's Francis again. He'll drive this time, and that's going to make Chris Beard smile.
Well, they need help from other people. It just can't be Jarrett Culver and company. It's got to be Culver. It's got to be Evans. It's got to be Brandon Francis.
A junior from the Dominican Republic, played 1 year with the Florida Gators. He's found a happy home here in Lubbock, Texas. Texas Tech needs that vaunted defense to step up here and get a stop. Sema muscling in against Hamilton. They're going to call him for a travel.
Well, Mike Boyd didn't like the call, but Sema can't be dribbling the basketball that much in the middle of the floor. And see, that's just a bad closeout defensively by Zaire Smith. He's got to get tighter. That's just kind of a fake. That's fake defense. You know, you go up and put your hand in someone's midsection. That doesn't do anything to bother the jump shooter. Now Texas Tech got to stay in rhythm, attack this zone into the gaps.
Stevenson finds a lane and flushes it. Nobody got up on Stevenson, and he took advantage.
Well, he was in between, and no communication by Oklahoma State defensively. They kind of didn't talk in that zone for the first time in a while. Now Texas Tech's got to take advantage of this energy from offense and in the building by playing tighter D.
Waters, no. McGriff gets the offensive rebound. Another second chance basket for the Pokes.
It's just Texas Tech not communicating again. It started with Waters being wide open at the top, and the rotations just aren't there consistently enough.
And that's a turnover for Texas Tech. Offensive foul on Francis.
Nice job by Stevenson, just splitting the gap between the top and the wing of that zone. Nobody rotated over, and for the most part, Oklahoma State's done a good job of rotating and forcing the ball to the sideline. That time they just didn't communicate.
Gray is going to be charged with that personal as Stevenson sits down. So does Hamilton. Lead is 12 for Oklahoma State. Texas Tech had some momentum there. Cowboys keeping Red Raiders at arm's length, and there's another charge. Man, how many of those have we had tonight? As McGriff is the culprit this time.
That was just a bad decision by McGriff. You see it on the replay. Sema was wide open. He got by his man initially on the perimeter and got all the way to the rim and drew the secondary defender. Look how wide open Sema is. You got to deliver that ball. He's wide open. That's an easy dunk.
Third foul on McGriff. He and Shine both with 3 for Oklahoma State. Odiasi has 3 for the Red Raiders. Evans, he's got 11 now.
Well, Texas Tech for the first time has shown 4 or 5 straight minutes of consistent ball and player movement, which now Oklahoma State's having some difficulty defending.
Smith had it swatted out of there by Odiasi. 1 second remaining on the shot clock.
Well, this is the type of defense Texas Tech played at the beginning of the game. Real good ball pressure, forcing everything to the sideline and everybody in help. Look at the defense. There's 4 defenders just attacking the basketball.
Sema's got to get it up. Doesn't draw iron.
Kendall Smith is Mike Boynton saying, why are you passing it to Sema? He is the last option you want to throw the ball to at the free throw line.
Oklahoma State needs a timeout.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
Keenan Evans and Texas Tech waking up. In the first half, the team really struggled, but they have hit 86% of their shots here since halftime.
Well, he's been doing it with and without the basketball, and he needs to continue to be aggressive, driving the ball into the lane.
Coming off the only game this season where he didn't score in double figures, held to 7 at Iowa State. He's got 11 now. Culver had 14 in the first half, doesn't get that shot to go, but great hustle by the freshman to keep it alive.
Oh, light up the building and the heart of your coach. The extra effort.
Culver makes a move on the baseline, finds Gray. Evans, good shot fake. Hands off. Odiasi has it rejected by Sema.
Oh, that was a great delivery by Evans, and Odiasi just got a little stronger to the rack.
Sema was a very good shot blocker at St. John's in his time there. He's rounding into a very good Big 12 rim protector, too.
Oklahoma State's been standing around a little bit too much the last 4 or 5 possessions. They need to get a little bit more movement from side to side.
Waning seconds of the shot clock. Averett, no. Second chance opportunity again. That was short-lived.
McGriff just needed to take his time.
Tipped up by Smith. No. Odiasi got the rebound, and then he was hammered over the back. Foul on McGriff. That's number 4 on him.
One single day, 2 power conferences, 10 games with new stars, familiar legends, and epic matchups, all for bragging rights. The Big 12 SEC Challenge on ESPN this Saturday.
Texas Tech will be at South Carolina for the challenge. Oklahoma State will be at Arkansas Saturday on ESPN2. Well, this is go time for Texas Tech.
Excuse me, Clay. Getting back to that point, though, it's a great time to break up the season. The grind of the Big 12 and the SEC, which is really good this year as well. But it is go time for Texas Tech. There's no doubt about it. And impressive this half, playing with a lot more confidence offensively. They've only missed 1 shot.
Zaire Smith out of that timeout gets it to roll in as Texas Tech stays hot here in the half.
Looked like he double dribbled first, but when you got a little momentum, things are going your way for Texas Tech.
Off the steal. Evans And the lead is just 6 now for the Cowboys, who led by as many as 15.
Well, both ends of the floor, Texas Tech. Now they're getting down and dirty, and they're just playing off instinct and togetherness defensively. And Oklahoma State has to counter now by being more aggressive off the bounce with better spacing.
They're going to get Evans this time with a foul, a reach in on DeZagua.
Again, just aggressive. That's a double dribble first by Smith. But he gets away with it, but just still more determined, aggressive play on both ends of the floor. And you see they're really getting up and overplaying Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's got to get a little bit more into their dribble penetration and their handoff offense. You know, when teams get up on top of your top hand and deny entries to the wing, you've got to do other things to get open, and whether it's ball screens or dribble handoffs.
DeZagua, perfect 19 for 19 at the line in his career. He stays perfect. Tonight at 11 on SportsCenter, the slumping Cavs trying to turn it around in San Antonio. Plus LeBron goes for 30,000 points. And Kansas, Oklahoma in Norman. Is Trae Young shooting the ball too much? That's the question a lot of people are asking right now. DeZagua stays perfect in his career at the line. Stops the momentum, at least temporarily, for Texas Tech.
It was a tough call to go against Texas Tech. Looked like Keenan Evans made a good play on the wing, but Texas Tech is a better mindset. You see better movement, Clay, with and without the basketball.
Really struggled with that in the first half. Really have struggled the last couple of games with that. To the corner, Culver. Yeah! He's got 18.
Well, again, changing sides of the floor and then dribble penetrating into the gap and making the extra pass to the open man as they drew that second defender into the paint.
Third three for Culver. DeZagua can't quiet the crowd. And it's Culver with the rebound.
Well, it's one and done now. Texas Tech getting after it on the glass as well.
Averett with the personal, his second.
Well, this is a great little drive and dish. Little two-man game. Inside, outside.
Now that's an outside shot, Tim. As you've talked about, that hasn't been the strong suit for the team the last couple of games, but it started with the penetration.
Absolutely. I mean, and they're open, and it's not, you know, you want your team to have a good balance, and you have to take shots when you're open, if available, and you draw that second defender.
Keenan Evans, a little bit strong. He got another shot at it. On the backside, Odiasi got the basketball and was clobbered. And that's on Mitchell Solomon.
Now you can just see the aggressive nature of Texas Tech this half. It's really grown with every minute, and right now Oklahoma State's reeling, and their confidence level looks like it's taken a step back, and now Jeffrey Carroll's got to get them organized in the half court and say, listen, get on my back a little bit. I'll take you home in the last 9 minutes.
Tim, that almost came right into your lap. You still have the quicks.
Thank God my cappuccino is complete. We don't want that on your nice suit.
Here's the replay of Tim's athleticism.
Look at that. Deflection. Always ready for the deflection.
Here come the Red Raiders. Down just 5.
And they can't get into anything. That's their problem right now. They can't get the ball entered to the wing.
Francis kicks to Culver in the corner. His three. Loose ball. And Carroll can't keep it in bounds. It goes back to Tech.
Well, this is absolutely a tale of two halves. All these little squirt out balls, the ball's around the rim, the ball's in the middle of the lane, the ball's out on the wing. In the first half, Oklahoma State retrieved them all easily. Now this half, Texas Tech is swarming.
Tech shooting 53% here in the second half. Evans had 4 at halftime. He's got 13 now. Being watched by Smith. Francis, another three-point attempt from that same honey hole. Now the official and a fan getting into it. And there is Smith arguing with the front row. This is reminiscent of 4 years ago.
Goodness. Well, that can only laugh because nothing came of it. Good intensity, even from the guy in the front row.
Tony Padilla, the official on the baseline. There's Kendall Smith. Play goes on.
He didn't want to give the ball back to Kendall Smith.
Driving Stevenson, and he is raked. And that's going to go against Waters. Number 3 on Lindy. Boy, that was very similar to the situation we saw with Marcus Smart 4 years ago. You were here for that.
Well, thank goodness it didn't elevate to that, because that turned ugly. And this building was on the cusp of the roof coming off when Marcus Smart did that. I'm sure it's something he regrets, but he learned from. And no harm, no foul. Give the officials credit. They stepped right in before anything got too wild. Got the commissioner of the Big 12 here tonight. We've got the head of officials in the Big 12. So.
They actually gave that foul, Tim, to Mitchell Solomon, his 3rd. So Waters has 2, Solomon with 3. Carroll got the 3 from the corner.
Well, that's exactly what the doctor ordered, and obviously the shot made is what the doctor ordered, but just Jeffrey Carroll being aggressive and looking for something that time on the baseline.
15 for Carroll. He averages 16. Lead back to 6. Driving and scoring is Evans. Man, has he come alive here in the second half.
Keenan Evans, Clay, that they saw early in the season. Just a guy that ball dominant, aggressive, unselfish, making a lot of plays on both ends. Now his defense has stepped up a level.
Yeah, he nearly forced a turnover there. Stevenson stepped in the passing lane, kept alive, 5 to shoot. Shine, offensive foul. And that is 4 on Shine. Evans took it.
Well, Clay, some excitement is developing. First the veteran with trying to quiet the lovely Lubbock faithful, and Keenan Evans showing he's a big-time point guard.
There's a point in the early part of the second half where this looked bleak for Texas Tech, but they've come charging back and trail by 4 now after being down as many as 15 in the half. This is something to keep an eye on for Oklahoma State, Tim.
Well, the reason Oklahoma State's now in a little bit of foul trouble, or deep foul trouble if you want to look at McGriff and Shine, is that Texas Tech has been much more aggressive off the bounce, moving the ball from side to side, and then attacking, getting all the way to the rim with a little bit more space and freedom, and not just settling for quick jumpers.
He's Tim Welsh. I'm Clay Matvick here in Lubbock, Texas. Another good one in the Big 12. How many times have we said that this season? Red Raiders 12-0 at home, trying to keep that streak alive, but Zaire Smith can't finish at the Tim.
It was a pretty good move by Smith. Looked like he might have got bumped, but Oklahoma State did a better job of holding off Texas Tech on the glass.
Booing Kendall Smith now every time he touches the ball after that altercation on the baseline. Cowboys turnover. Francis scoops it to the corner. Culver. Kept alive by Gray. Francis. Yes!
Well, Oklahoma State's got to push back now. They're on their heels on the offensive end of the floor and really not getting any rhythm with their pass and their entries. And there's a foul on Francis. Oh,
no, they're going to call it on Waters.
That's one of those fouls where they missed the first one, Francis got in there and slapped Myers. He gets into the offensive player cylinder. Watch, Francis first down the other end, just easy, easy bucket. And now they're taking a look at this. Now, one thing you can do is you can take an offensive foul off the board if in fact they go to the monitor and see that Francis was in the offensive player cylinder, which means up in that one area, up and down of his body, in an area where if he tries to make a move, you're in position where he cannot have any freedom of movement.
If it is on Waters, it would be his third.
Well, the interesting point of that, I don't know if we can show it, is that when Waters first caught the ball, Francis absolutely slapped him first. And then the official caught the second foul. But they're looking at this to see if Francis is in fact in the cylinder of Lindy Waters. And again, you cannot take a defensive foul off the board, but you can take an offensive foul. See, he slaps him in the face right there. And then Waters goes to turn, and in my opinion, he's in the cylinder. Well, see, he slaps him right in that face first. They don't call that foul. They get the second one.
You're going to remove the foul by rule off 21. It's the cylinder rule. It's the cylinder rule. We can't add the foul to the player, but we can take it away and give them the ball back when the shot clock ends.
Jerry Pollard coming over here to explain.
Well, he explained just what we thought, and they're taking the foul off the board off Lindy Waters. You cannot add a foul, so they can't give Brandon Francis a foul, but you can take a foul off the board from the offensive player. That's what they did because they determined Brandon Francis was in the cylinder of the offensive player, and that's generally a new rule in the last couple of years. It's a good move. It's a good rule because if you can't get up on a guy, and it all goes with the freedom of movement rules that have been implemented in the last few years just to give the offense a little bit more room to breathe and add more scoring to the game and more fluidity. And that time Francis was up so tight on Waters, he went to make his move. He did not charge him.
So take that foul off the board for Waters. 1 point lead Oklahoma State, under 6 minutes to go. Smith bumps off of Stevenson and gets it with the right hand.
Well, obviously a huge change of events, and that was a good move by Waters to be strong with the basketball because that's what Oklahoma State has not been in the last few minutes. That's why Texas Tech is back in this game.
And Solomon is going to be called for that foul. That's 4 on him.
That was a good piece of officiating by Jerry Pollard, just to go to the monitor and actually say, okay, listen, we're going to take this foul off the board. And you know, that's what that replay is for. And these guys have the work cut out for them the last 5:30 because both teams are getting after it on the defensive end of the floor and being very, very physical.
It's been a physical game. There have been 35 personal fouls called here tonight.
Normally I'm one to whine about that a little bit, all the fouls being called, but I think they're doing a very good job for the most part. I mean, this is not easy because both teams, again, as we just said, are being very physical both on and away from the basketball.
Sema drops it inside, and McGriff was trying to catch the ball. Evans reached in. Third on Keenan Evans.
It's going to be a battle of this down the stretch because both teams and both coaches understand that the referees are calling it pretty tight right now, so they're going to space the floor and try to drive the ball to the hole and get to the free throw line.
Now, Oklahoma State has been a terrific foul shooting team throughout the year, 77% as a team. So if it does come down to that, it's a decided edge for the Cowboys. 70% on the year as a team for Texas Tech. First miss at the line from McGriff tonight. Lead is 3 for Oklahoma State. Under 5 to go. Nice crossover, Francis. Culver attacks. Strong off the glass. Kept alive. Culver again. Great athleticism. And the kiss.
How about that, freshman? The glide, the float, and the finish.
Smith is strong. Evans the rebound. Finds Culver in flight. New career high for Culver, and Tech has the lead.
And how about the pride of Lubbock doing it in front of the hometown crowd?
Waters. There's a hush to the crowd.
Smart play on the baseline. Waters, he's tight defense again, but presence of mind just to clear a little space with that baseline pull up.
Keenan Evans hit. No foul called, but he gets the 3. Boy, he went down in a heap. Wanted a foul, but he'll have to settle for the bucket.
Oklahoma State's going to have to score on every possession because Texas Tech is really confident on offense down the stretch.
Keenan Evans, 15 since halftime. He's got 19 in the game. Texas Tech with a 2-point lead. Jeffrey Carroll, no. And Jerry Pollard blows the whistle. There's a foul on the baseline. Goes against Oklahoma State.
Jarrett Culver is a freshman. Chris Beard said, I want my seniors to play better. But when you have this guy floating, you can lay it down and in.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Boost Mobile.
Well, since the upset of West Virginia when these Texas Tech fans rushed the floor, they've had back-to-back losses to Texas and Iowa State. First losing streak of the season. They were down by 11 in that game to the Mountaineers and came back to win. They've been down by as many as 15 tonight. Right now, the Red Raiders lead by 2 with 3:20 to go.
How about Jarrett Culver, though? He's not afraid of the moment at all. And just down the stretch here, he's played with a lot of confidence and aggressiveness. And, you know, Keenan Evans as well is he's mixed his game up. He's had good balance to his game, and you see their resume. They've obviously had a huge season, but as of late lost a little confidence with their play on the road.
Cam McGriff on the bench for Oklahoma State. He has fouled out.
Well, the tie undone, the bloodshot eyes, the coat off. We're heading towards February in the Big 12. The stress of it all.
Waters gets the rebound off the missed free throw. Oklahoma State only down 2. Missed opportunities at the line for Texas Tech.
Well, again, they've got to work on getting the ball there. That first, second, third pass, then they can run their offense in a better rhythmic way, getting the ball going from side to side.
Both point guards in the game right now for Oklahoma State, Averett and Smith. Carroll, offensive foul. How many? We got to get that number.
Now both teams just taking it in the chest, Clay, and that's just a frustration play. And you want Jeffrey Carroll to be aggressive, but there he draws the help, and Francis comes over from the wing, and when that man bites on that dribble drive from the wing, from the corner, you have to be prepared and have your head up to drive and kick to the open man for a wide open look in the 3.
19 turnovers now for Oklahoma State, 14 for Texas Tech.
I believe Averett was wide open in the corner. Usually you don't want your team to help from that spot, but Carroll just put his head down and Francis made a nice play.
And now Francis going to work on the other end. Had it poked away by Solomon out of bounds. And stay with the Red Raiders, 18 to shoot. All the turnovers, and then you couple that with 38 personal fouls. It's had kind of a staccato type feel tonight. Fits and starts this evening.
Well, Texas Tech to come back and take this lead is obviously run good offense, but their defense has been on lockdown mode, and now they're going to have to attack this zone within 10 seconds.
Culver for three. You bet. He continues his career night. Texas Tech with a 5-point lead.
Well, Oklahoma State came out in the zone on that baseline out of bounds and just never got settled and didn't communicate. Here, just a little screen at the top, and no one is there. Averett comes from all the way down to the baseline, just way too late. You've got to see that man out on the wing and understand you have to be there on the catch quicker. Moving on the pass. When on the catch, you're ready to contest.
Got to really credit Chris Beard's squad here in the second half. After the 2 losses on the road, they were down in the dumps a bit, but they had an inspiring shoot-around today, and they've been led by Jared Culver, their freshman. A career-high 25 points. He's also got 8 rebounds.
Well, Chris said when he came back from Iowa State, he was going home, leaving the building about 9 o'clock that night. There's 4 guys in the gym shooting, so that's always makes you feel better as a coach that your guys are ready to bounce back.
Solomon threw a strong pick.
They're building a wall, Clay. They can't get anything clean.
Shine had it deflected. Texas Tech has it as Gray takes it away.
It was 23 seconds of defense where we're not allowing the ball to penetrate the three-point line. Texas Tech, just everyone in the stands getting down and dirty defensively.
It's an Oklahoma State team that averages 79 points per game. They've been held in check here in the second half. And that one is a reach-in foul on Mitchell Solomon, and he is done. That's the 5th on the senior from Bixby, Oklahoma, so he'll join McGriff on the Oklahoma State bench.
When your offense stalls like this and you just put so much pressure on your defense to get stops on every possession against a team now that's playing with a lot of confidence on the offensive end, especially with Culver and then Evans running the show.
Last Oklahoma State possession, just great defense.
Just unbelievable. I mean, just look at these guys. They're all communicating. Their heads on a swivel. They keep denying the basketball from side to side, keeping it on one side of the floor. Everybody moving. You see the 3 guys in the lane. Nothing. They can't get anything. And finally, Shine just tries to dribble drive at the end of the clock, and then Odiasi comes over with the great help.
2 shots for Keenan Evans. An 82% foul shooter. And now Jared Pollard's back over at the scorer's table. So that,
I believe they blew the horn right when Keenan Evans was about to release the free throw, and Chris Beard went over and said, "Excuse me, we're in Lubbock." Our own clock operator is not supposed to blow the horn where our best player is on the free throw line.
Evans gets them both despite the horn. Lead is 7. That equals the biggest of the night for Texas Tech. They trailed by 15 here in the half at one point. Carroll goes around the horn, lobs it up, and doesn't get the shot to go, but he'll get a trip to the line too.
This is a good move by Jeff Carroll because they have to continue to be aggressive. They can't just start jacking threes just because they're down 7. And first time in a while he found some room to the rim.
The Cowboys have had some heroics here in recent games, especially at home. Now they're going to have to try and pull something out on the road after giving up a big lead. Culver's going to come back in. Gray sits down. You see Mike Boynton, his team, trying to get its 4th Big 12 win here tonight.
And they came storming back on Saturday at home. Now they're going to slap the press on after this free throw. And
last touch by Texas Tech. A break for Oklahoma State with 1:19 to go.
Well, that time Jarrett Culver just so energized and active going for the ball. Didn't realize that Norris Odiasi had it in his mitts, and Culver knocked it out of his hands, his teammate.
Carroll high off the glass and touched the top of the backboard, and then a foul on the way down against Texas Tech. And that's the 4th on Evans, and that sends Seaman to the line.
Well, Carroll just kind of dribble driving to the rim, and ever so slight push by Evans. Just letting Seaman know he's there. He really didn't need to do that, but he didn't know where the ball was going to bounce out. He didn't want to give Seaman the opportunity, but puts him on the line. Not a good free throw shooter.
Great matchup here tonight. Oklahoma State, not one of the heavy hitters in the Big 12, but you know they're a team that looks like an NCAA tournament team here tonight. Big 12 right now, bids by conference, it looks like 6 for the league as it's currently projected. Seema, not a great free throw shooter. Off the turnover, Shine. No. Opportunity there for Oklahoma State goes by the boards, and we go under a minute to play.
Well, that was not a good decision by Tavares Shine. You got to drive it to the rim, and if you're open, fine, knock it down. But that was a contested 3. He's got to drive it to the rim. Texas Tech is going to play back on their heels. They don't want to foul because they don't want to put somebody on the line and stop the clock. So those lanes to the basket will be a little bit more wide open, especially in transition. It wasn't a good decision by Shine.
Just saw Texas Tech projected as a 4 seed. Evans is going to go back to the line on that Kendall Smith foul with 54 seconds to go. Evans, their best free throw shooter, or one of their best.
So that's what you learn on how to win on the road. Those little things, Clay, to get yourself back to where you have a chance to win. And that's what Mike Boynton will have to teach this team on the road, how to win on the road. And one of the things, Shine, go get the easy 2, set up your press, and then trust your defense to get another stop.
Big 12 SEC Challenge finds Texas Tech at South Carolina Saturday. That won't be easy. And you and I will be back here for the game against Texas next Wednesday night. Lead is 8 for Texas Tech. Great effort here in the second half. Now Stevenson with the steal. Picks Waters' pocket, then he's fouled hard by Shine from behind. And that's 5 on Tavares Shine.
Well, again, the defense of Texas Tech, the overplay on the pass back to the top. And what Oklahoma State has not done is their passes have been too loose. They haven't cut away and gone back door to put some pressure on the backside of the defense. And Texas Tech has just smelled blood here in this last 7-8 minutes with their defense.
So Shine is out. 3rd Cowboy to foul out here in the second half. Oklahoma State led 37-25 at the break, and nothing was going right offensively for Texas Tech. What a change here since halftime.
Well, they were wobbly. There's no doubt about it. And this is coaching and leadership, and then, of course, talent. The coaching, Chris, I'm sure, told them we've got to attack. The leadership, Keenan Evans, and then the talent, Jarrett Culver, took over down the stretch.
Oklahoma winning tonight over Kansas. Big win for the Sooners. And Lindy Waters, a Norman, Oklahoma native, scores on the other end here and has a chance at a 3-point play with 33.6 seconds left.
Well, that's what you're talking about before. Keep attacking the basket. Obviously, you want to extend the basketball game by trying to drive to the rim, call timeout, set up your press. Don't take all these contested threes and then you shoot yourself right out of the game.
2-possession game. Over a half-minute to go. Full court pressure here by the Cowboys. Zaire Smith trying to get it in, running that baseline. He'll flip it into Gray. And Gray, another good foul shooter at 83%, will come back to shoot.
Well, that's the one advantage that Chris Beard does have in these type of situations. He's got a lot of good ball handlers he can trust that can turn around and still play defense and play bigger than their size. Guys that can handle the ball, make good decisions, and make free throws.
You touched on it, Tim, near the top of the broadcast. Only 10 free throw attempts in the game against Iowa State for the Red Raiders. Close to 30 tonight.
Well, it's easy. It's easy math as a coach. You just show them that simple thing. You know, we took 53 threes in the last 2 games. We only made 13. That's not our game. Our game is getting to the free throw line, and that's what they've done tonight in the second half.
It's not like they've been shy from 3 tonight either. They've made 10 of 19. It's just been a better shooting night from outside.
But 19 is a big difference between 19 and 26 is huge, and just their mentality has been different, more aggressive to the rim.
So the lead is 8, 32 seconds to go. Texas Tech using a timeout here. Oklahoma State, they'll be at Arkansas for the Big 12 SEC Challenge on Saturday. ESPN2, then TCU back at home in Stillwater on the 30th.
If Mike Boynton is smart, he will tell his assistants, please don't give me the big picture. He don't look, when this comes up on the screen when we're watching the tape, don't turn it off, because every one of those games is brutal.
Mike Boynton hired Scott Sutton. Chris Beard hired Sean Sutton. I'm sure Eddie watching tonight as his boys do battle as assistant coaches.
There's no doubt he's watching, and all the best to him. And he's a guy that's one of our favorites and absolutely should be in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
Averett's going to be at the line after the foul on Stevenson. 2 shots for Brandon Averett.
If you ever coached against one of Eddie Sutton's teams, you know you're in you better bring your armor, because his teams were hard-nosed, tough, organized, well-schooled, and unselfish.
Shot in the background before, of course, he became the head coach at Oklahoma State for a time.
How hard is that for him tonight, watching these 2 guys on both benches? And it was great to chat with Sean today, and as we said before, great move by Mike Boynton, bringing Scott into the fold at Oklahoma State.
After he spent 18 years at Oral Roberts. Evans back to the line. Texas Tech just has to take care of business at the stripe. Here you see Scott. Yeah, this crowd at halftime, they were a little bit miffed. But you have to credit this crowd, and specifically the student section, for waking this Texas Tech team up.
Well, being around this town the last couple of days, you just feel the energy for this program. And people are excited about this basketball team. They believe in it. They see not only the veteran leadership, this team, you know, these guys, these veterans were in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago with Tubby Smith, but this infusion of young talent, I think, mixed with the seniors and the experience, has everyone really pumped up, and rightfully so.
Cowboys got to have this possession, and they get a dunk from Smith with 15.8. Timeout, Oklahoma State. So it's not over just yet.
And it's always nice to have a great freshman that's from your backyard in Jarrett Culver. Well, this is what Mike Boynton wanted his team to do when Tavares Shine took that kind of contested 3. I mean, you're still in this game, and you got to just keep scoring and put pressure on Texas Tech to attack your pressure and make free throws.
Look at the loose balls in the first half. Oklahoma State was winning those battles before halftime. Second half, tables turned.
Well, if you weren't ready to get on the floor tonight and play with some body-to-body combat, you weren't going to survive, because this game right from the get-go showed a lot of sense of urgency on both teams, and Oklahoma State trying to find their first road win, and Texas Tech trying to get back in the winning column.
You know, how about the second chance points, too? Oklahoma State was leading in that statistical category at the half, 14-0. 13-2 in favor of Texas Tech in the second half.
It just shows a lot of grit and understanding of how you have to win games in this conference. You can't come down and settle for jump shots. And I think that mentality of attacking the basket pours over into your mentality of being aggressive on the backboards as well.
And Averett heads to the bench. He has just fouled out. 4 Cowboys fouling out tonight. So Texas Tech, after the 2 losses, back to the winning ways. The resume really good for the Red Raiders. 5-1 against the top 25. You know, there's no shame in losing 2, especially on the road in a row in the Big 12, and this year in particular. They knew, though, they had to get back on track tonight, and it looks like they're going to do that.
Well, there's no doubt they have. And
Smith rolls it in. 6 seconds to go.
They did it, Clay, by getting back to the formula that got them to where they are. Hard nose, getting to the free throw line, and gritty defense.
26 for Evans, 25 for Culver, a career high for the freshman. 75-70, Texas Tech storms back in the second half. For Tim Welsh, I'm Clay Matvick. We say so long from Texas Tech. College basketball continues over on ESPN, Mississippi State and Kentucky.